Nick, the Browns avoided a mess that several other teams are in right now. Namely, you got the Cowboys and Lamb, you got the Bengals and Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. They got Amari Cooper's contract questions ironed out. What did you think, and what did that contract say to you about the Browns and Cooper?
You know what? I'm really glad that Amari Cooper just is coming off a season where he set a career high in receiving yards, right? He was the hallmark of reliability and just the offense as a whole. And I think he's incredibly important because there's a ton of guys in the Browns wide receiver room that are maybe a little more unproven. They certainly have potential, but when you're looking at, okay, who can we rely on to be our productive, the leader of our pass catching group, it's Amari Cooper. And I think to get this deal done, especially in the landscape of wide receivers where there's a lot of issues going on. And I never think it's a good thing, like especially as the Bengals when you've got Jamar Chase not practicing but being there, you've got T. Higgins having some bad feelings towards the team, and you're not really sure what the future is there. You want the team to have as much time together. You want the feelings to be good on both sides. And from everything Amari said and everything that Andrew Berry has said, when the Browns guarantee him, give him that security with the contract, and so he doesn't have to worry about getting injured in practice because he doesn't have any guarantees on his money. I think that builds that goodwill between the wide receiver and the team, and really sets the team up to just focus on football.
Yeah, I would agree with you wholeheartedly. So we have alluded to it. This is from Get Up from ESPN. So the guys that cover it nationally, talking about the mess at the Bengals wide receiver room with Jamar Chase in particular.
They're not calling it a hold-in, but for all intents and purposes, it doesn't matter what you call it. That's what's happening. So is there an end in sight to this one? We're talking about how easy it should be to make a deal for C.D. Lamb. Jamar Chase, I would argue, is as good as any receiver and as valuable as any receiver in the NFL.
I would say that it's interesting because if you listen to Mike Brown talk right at the start of training camp, he said, and these were his words, the die has been cast, that the time to do these deals is in the offseason, and he thought, in his opinion, that it will wait till next offseason. I don't know that that's the case. Again, if he's not on the field now, why is he going to change his mind? What's going to force him to step on the football field? Lewis, you mentioned 4.8. 3.8 of that was a roster bonus that's already been paid. $1 million in base salary. So he would be making $1 million in base salary to step onto the football field. When there are other receivers making upwards of $30+ million a year, are you risking your future for $1 million when there's all that money that's out there? That's
so where does this go?
A lot.
All right, so we mentioned that, Nick. Here, just take a look at the wide receiver contracts that have been done within the past couple of months. This is from Spotrac. So you've got Justin Jefferson, 4 years, $140 million. St. Brown, 4 years, $120 million. DJ Moore just got 4 years, $110 million. A.J. Brown, 3 years, $96. Calvin Ridley, 4 years, $92. Jalen Waddle, 3 years, $85. 3 years, $75 for Smith. Collins, $373. Pittman, 3 years, $70 million. The deal for Jerry Jeudy, 3 years, $52.5 looks like a bargain. And Mike Evans, 2 years at $41 million. Yeah, if I'm giving Jamar Chase advice as his agent, I keep the ball cap on. We'll get you a 9-iron. We'll get you a putter. We'll let you go play a lot of golf.
Yeah, you know what? You look at that list and you say the only thing the wide receiver market seems to do is go up. And from a Browns perspective, I think it's a credit to them that they paid Jerry Jeudy early before a lot of these contracts got signed as well, because like you said, David, it does look like a bargain in comparison to a lot of the market itself has skyrocketed. And that's a really precarious situation that the Bengals are in, because not only is Jamar Chase not happy with his contract situation, but I think it's the worst kept secret that this is going to be T. Higgins last year in Cincinnati. So all of a sudden you've got Joe Burrow's both of his best pass catchers best pass catchers that are miffed with
Yeah.
the team, and that is certainly not a recipe for success.
Well, your line has not protected him. He's been injured 2 of the 4 years, and now you're going to tell him we can't afford to keep your second wide receiver, and your first wide receiver is going to be PO'd because we're paying him roughly $34 million below what market value is for the number one receiver in the NFL.
It doesn't seem to benefit them to wait any. Like, if I was the Bengals, I would say we need to get this deal done today, because eventually CeeDee Lamb's going to sign his contract, right? And once that happens, Jamar Chase is going to want more than he got. And so I just don't see any benefit to waiting or dragging this out any longer. You know, you saw, I know it's not the same situation, but Joe Burrow was dealing with an injury last year, and in camp he didn't get to have the reps that he wanted. And then he came to Cleveland, and they really offensively were a mess. I think these reps are really important in camp, and for Chase to just be on the sidelines is not a good situation there at all.
No, and you know, he can't be happy with it. The other thing is, so they can pick up his fifth-year option, but you know what? You want to buy your way out of that. At the end of the day, it's $30 million. You can always go to him and say, we'll give you $10, $15 million this year, $15 million next year, and ramp it up to the $35 million. But that price tag isn't going down. So you know what? It's fine with me. It's a division.
Yeah, you won't let me complaining.
It's a division rival. They can do business the way they want to.